what foreign investment might be breaking records, and whose construction is being put on hold, and what company is recalling its employees. All this and more when we come back. Hello and welcome back to EnergyScout News and Information. I'm your host, Reb Byers. Today's segment will focus on major producers within the energy industry. And breaking news, ExxonMobil is hoping to smooth things over with the Nigerian Oil Workers Union this week. The dispute started when ExxonMobil fired 100 Nigerian workers, prompting calls for a strike against the giant. Members from both parties have agreed to meet and talk with high-level government officials again sometime this week. In other news, the latest foreign investment in decades may be going down soon. BP, Shell, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Total will all be commissioned by the Iraqi government to help increase the country's output by an estimated 25%. The deal, estimated at $2.5 billion, will likely be signed early next month. The energy advisor to Iraq's prime minister expects each company to boost output by 100,000 barrels per day at each of their fields. Now let's take a further look at other news in the energy industry. Chevron will just have to wait a little bit longer to find out its proposed refinery will be approved. The Richmond Planning Commission in California pushed back their decision date to April 10th in order to hear further arguments from both Chevron and opponents of the project. The supermajor hopes to upgrade its 3,000-acre refinery by installing a new power plant and production facility for processing crude oil. The British supermajor BP is recalling 148 employees from Russia, citing alleged visa problems. An official with BP's Russian joint venture announced the recall on Tuesday. The move follows a raid by Russian secret police last week and charges filed for industrial espionage. A spokeswoman with BP told the Associated Press that the employees were being recalled temporarily because of a lack of clarity over their visa status. It's time once again for our market numbers, but first, let's take a look at our leaders and laggards. In oil and gas, crude oil is up 36 cents to $101.22, and natural gas is also up 9 cents to $9.42. In fuel this week, gasoline is averaging at $3.25 a gallon for regular, and diesel is averaging at $3.98. In strange news today, a crime-fighting granny takes action.
Police say that 22-year-old Joshua Crowley was on the run after robbing a KFC at knife point. Mary didn't want to show her face, but she did describe how she saw this man running and a manager yelling. She sped up in her car, followed him, and got out of the car and actually confronted him and pulled him off a fence.
I just says, "No, you're not going anyplace," and I just put my arm around his neck and grabbed his arm, and I was going to put his arm behind him like I see on TV, and found out that that's much harder to do than they make it look on TV.
Imagine that. Well, Mary did hold that suspect until the police arrived. She says, yeah, he pushed her around a bit, but he did not hit her.
Boy, is he going to be popular in prison. I tried to rob a KFC and got beat up by Colonel Sanders' grandma. And that's it for today's Energy Headlines. Be sure to check out our website daily at EnergyScout.com for up-to-date rig counts and company information. And be sure to stay tuned with us tomorrow. We will take a look at independent producers within the energy industry. For Energy Scout News and Information, I'm your host, Red Byers.